What's going on, y'all? So it's been a while since I've, been on this page or, made a video for this page. I've been on a lot of other projects right now, but I kind of wanted to start maybe building something that was a little bit more personal to me and that could shed light for those who want to learn more about me, I guess. So I guess that's what this channel is going to be more about, other than just talking about OnlyFans all the time. We can talk about, things that interest you guys, various topics and things like that. So without further ado, let's get into it. So today's lesson or something of that nature, I guess you could say, is going to be talking about my coming out story, how it was for me personally. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say my coming out story is better than anybody's, worse than anybody's. I'm not saying if you come out, this is how it's going to be. But I'm just going to try to give, some insight on how it was for me. Doesn't mean that it'll be like that for you. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So I would say coming out for me was actually not so bad as I thought it was going to be, more because I was confused on who I was. At a very young age, I started to notice that I had an attraction towards males. But, growing up in a very conservative household, I never knew what that meant. I thought that was normal, and I'm not saying that isn't normal, having an attraction towards guys or anything. But, especially in a conservative household, that would be a little bit abnormal, you could say. So it wasn't something that was talked about much or really touched on much. And I just thought it was normal. You know what I mean? I thought that being straight had nothing to do with that, or being, didn't even know about the LGBTQ community. No idea, you know what I mean? So it was something that never really crossed my mind, I guess, at a young age, because I never had access to, what those things were, what those things meant, and things like that. And I think it was a little bit better that way, actually, because I got to kind of figure out myself without, people telling me or anything like that. And I wouldn't change that at all. It was a very good experience. I had a really wholesome childhood, but I will say, like, as I started getting older, I started playing football. I started noticing guys, and I was like, just like, oh, this guy's attractive, you know what I mean? But it wasn't something that I was ever going to act on or anything like that. It was just more of, I found that person attractive, but obviously, I'm supposed to like women, supposed to. So it was something that was, as I got older, it started getting more and more confusing, as I started to, look at guys and girls in a more sexual way, was when around, 12, 13, when I was, starting to notice guys more than girls. And I was like, okay, guys like girls, and that's good, you know what I mean? But like, I find guys attractive, you know what I mean? And girls at the same time. So it was something that was very confusing for me. And as I got older and stuff, I started to realize more things of that nature. But it was around when I was 14, 15 years old was when I really started to like not be afraid, I guess, and started being more open to who I was sexually. When I really started, looking at guys in a more, like I said, sexual way, more than previously before, and started to learn about, the LGBTQ and what it meant and what being, bi or gay was. And that was when I really, like I said, started looking at guys more sexually, and it was all kind of not downhill, because it was really uphill. Like, it was great for me, but it was more like a downhill spiral after that. I started like talking to guys, I started flirting with guys, but then came to the point where I actually had to come out. And being an athlete, with a lot of guy friends, a lot of girlfriends, a lot of friends or girl that were friend, what I'm trying to say, like with a lot of friends in general, you know what I mean? It was kind of a shell shock for me because I just started, like hinting towards it, like, I find guys attractive. And it was, I would say the way I kind of did it was very like passive aggressive. I didn't just like have this like big, like, okay guys, I'm gay, or hey guys, I'm bisexual. I went more into it like telling a few friends here, telling a few friends there. And honestly, I had really great friends because a lot of people didn't go and like spread it, especially a lot of my guy friends. I expected a lot of my guy friends just to freak out and not want to be friends with me anymore. But I mean, these are guys I grew up with since I was like a little kid, you know what I mean? So they know that, I'm sure in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, I've gotten dressed with this guy before or whatever, like thinking of it weird, but I didn't see any of them like that, honestly. Obviously, I noticed them in an attracted way almost. And, but not in like, oh, I want to hook up with you or anything like that, or I find you like incredibly hot. You know what I mean? Just more in a way like how you would admire like a friend. You know what I mean? I'm sure whether you're gay, bi, straight, whatever you are, you know what I mean? I'm sure you've seen, the same sex that's a friend and like, oh, they're attractive. And then you also seen like, a girl or, whatever the case may be. And you'll be like, oh, I find them attractive. It's just like in that regards almost. So, I started telling my friends, and like I said, they were all really, really nice, and nobody really gave me any backlash or anything, and they were just really supportive of who I was as a person, and just agreed with it, honestly. And a lot of people said they weren't shocked, which I feel like a lot of people will say that when you come out like, oh, I knew or whatever, but none of them really knew, honestly. I don't think so. I kept it really DL for a long, long time, and tried to make the best out of the situation. But it felt so liberating not having that secret anymore. I wasn't treated, like I said, I wasn't treated differently, on my football team or around my friends or anything like that. Things just kind of stayed the same, but I felt like I had this pressure on my chest, my back, whatever, just like lifted off. And it was really liberating to feel in my own skin and my own sexuality and just be proud of it. Things kind of changed a little bit. Like once I was a senior, I was really, really open about it. Obviously, if some of you have been watching me for that long, I started OnlyFans as soon as I was a senior in high school. So really confusing there. A lot of people, that's another story for a different time. If you guys want me to talk about that story, make sure you guys let me know. But up until then, I had a really great experience with everything and coming out. Coming out to my parents is a little bit different. Like I said, conservative. My parents actually got divorced in the middle of me coming out. So my mom was really supportive of everything, and she, loves me to death. Me and my dad, it is what it is, I still respect him, love him or whatever, but, might not be in the will anymore. But, it's the way, people come around, and, just don't change the way you are for anybody. If that's the advice I could give you, just don't change. You know what I mean? If you feel you're a certain way for a certain reason, there's nothing wrong with that. Being proud of who you are is perfectly fine. On that note, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more videos like this, maybe give me a suggestion of what you guys want to see next. I don't know when this will be uploaded, honestly. We'll see. I mean, I want to try to upload weekly, at least once a week, and just see, like little short videos like this, maybe some longer videos in the future. If you guys want to see other content other than this, make sure you guys go check out my socials. They're going to be linked in the description, and I think I'm going to put them right here. So if you guys want to come check them out, here's my socials. Make sure you guys go check out the Loud and Proud podcast to see more of me as well. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for all your constant support and the love. It really does mean a lot to me. And until next time, love you guys. OJ out.